I've invested in a large number of different speculative crypto mining projects. In this video, I'm going to share exactly how I made $4,291 mining crypto in June of 2023. This will include income from crypto mining, running crypto nodes, and any interest earned in DeFi. I've also included my monthly expenses, including electric and VPS hosting expenses, so we can get an accurate picture of my net income for the month. Once again, I'm including an ROI or return on investment analysis into this video. This way we can determine which miners are currently the best ones to buy. So stay tuned for that later in this video. This is month 14 of this earnings review series. Congrats if you're still here during this bear market. It's not going to last forever. I truly believe those that stick with this are going to be rewarded the most once the next bull market comes. Now before we get started, I want to clarify I'm not here to try to brag about how much money I'm making each month. It's really not that much. Or to try to promote certain projects for my own personal gain. I'm really trying to share my crypto mining journey with you, and hopefully you can learn something from any insights I might be able to provide. And as always, remember, nothing in this video is financial advice. All right, with all that out of the way, let's get to the earnings analysis. Let's start off by looking at the numbers at a high level, and then we'll dig in by project. So for the month of June, we had total revenue come in at $4,291. That is an increase of about $1,200 versus May. The big driver of that increase month over month was there was a FLUX Matic snapshot claim. This is a one-time claim that was worth about $1,500 to me for the month that I was able to claim this month. Now, without this FLUX Matic snapshot claim, it would have been a pretty poor month. We saw the prices of many different IoT projects, their underlying coins, drop substantially this month, which decreased profitability across the board. Our expenses for June came in slightly lower versus May, and that's due to some slight decreases in my node hosting expenses. I shut down some nodes for the month, so we had some decrease in those underlying expenses. So our net income for the month came in at $2,811. That is an increase of almost $1,300 versus May. Now I was looking at these results, and if I would have backed out my FLUX snapshot claim and my Bitcoin mining, this would have been by far the worst month that we've seen since I started doing this analysis. So those two underlying positive items are really helping to mask some of the weakness that we're seeing across the board, across many of the other projects I'm involved in. So let's take a look at the detail by project. Now, it does take me several hours to compile all this information for you each month. So if you find this information helpful, I really would appreciate if you hit that like button. It really does help to promote the video and help support the channel. So I've got all my projects here ranked from net most profitable to least profitable. We'll go down the line here from top to bottom, and I'll give some commentary over the results of each for the month. So my number one project for the month, like I mentioned earlier, were my FLUX nodes, netting me just under $1,600. I have 2 Nimbus, 1 Stratus, and 6 Titan nodes. So I have about 75,000 FLUX tokens locked up through those various nodes. Now the big driver of the income that we're getting this month, like I mentioned, was that Matic snapshot claim, which accounted for about $1,500 of that net income for the month. So if you strip out that one-time impact, we're looking at net profits of about $75 for my FLUX nodes for the month. So the profitability has really decreased for these FLUX nodes in recent months. We're seeing some pretty severe decreases in the FLUX token price. I think we're near the lows of this bear market at this point. My number 2 project for the month are my Bitcoin miners. I have 6 S19 Pro 110 terahash Bitcoin miners, which netted me $564 for the month. I have these hosted through BitCap Hosting, which is located in Washington State. I'm contracted at 8.5 cents per kilowatt hour with them, so I'm paying about $1,200 in expenses to them each month to host these Bitcoin miners. Now, Bitcoin mining did see an increase in network difficulty again this month, which makes it more difficult to mine, but the good thing is that was offset by an increase in Bitcoin's price for the month, which was up 12% for the month. Number 3 project for the month are my Presearch nodes. I currently now have 40 Presearch nodes. I have 265,000 Presearch staked across those nodes. Now I did consolidate my nodes this month. I had 99 nodes going into this month, but I had about 60 nodes that were coming due through Racknerd, and Racknerd sent me an invoice for like $1,400. They refused to give me the promotional rate of $10 for the year. They said you need to let all your nodes expire and then you can re-sign up for them. So I decided to close down all those nodes. I was not going to pay more than double for those nodes. At this point, I'm closing down those nodes. I don't really want to incur another big expense for Presearch. Presearch's token has been down substantially. I think I have a by far big enough stack for Presearch at this point, so I'm just going to stick with these 40 nodes. If we see some increase in profitability down the road, I may open up some nodes again for Presearch, but at this point I'll just stick with these 40 nodes and I'll just stake more than 4,000 on each node. Number 4 project for the month are my 2 DIMO data miners, and together those netted me $150 for the month. Now, the one thing I noticed this month is we are seeing the reduction in rewards week over week, about a 3% reduction versus about 6 or 7% reduction week over week last month. So I think that means there's less people ordering this device as some of the hype has gone away with this project. We're seeing the DIMO data token, it was down pretty substantially this month, down 32%. Number 5 project is my Hyfix Geodnet Space Weather Station. This is the upgraded weather station. It netted me $67 for the month. Now, the one big update for this project this month is they did have the halving here on June 30th, 2023. So the rewards for this project will be cut in half going forward, but hopefully we can see some increase in the price of the Geo token to offset that halving impact. You can see here they did have their coin did perform pretty well this month, up 5%, especially when you compare to a lot of these other different altcoins where this past month has been pretty awful. Coming in at number 6 is Crank. I have my 2 MatchX M2 Pros on Crank. So for the month, it netted me $61. We did see another decrease in the Crank token price this month, down 20%. I believe it was down 30% last month. So we've seen quite the substantial decrease over the past couple months. This project is still in beta, and the beta is full and closed at this point, but my understanding is they are opening it up to new users here in the next couple months. So I recommend joining the Crank Discord. So when they do open that up, if you have a compatible device, you can join the Crank network. Coming at number 7 are my 3 iPolo G1 minis. These are ASIC miners, and they mine the cryptocurrency Grin. I've been solo mining these for the past 8 or 9 months. We had a pretty lucky month this month, finding 23 blocks, which was worth 1,359 Grin tokens. Now, I am actively selling my Grin tokens that I mine every couple months, and I convert it into Bitcoin. And we had expenses for my iPolo G1 minis, and this is my electric expense at my home electric rate of 12 cents per kilowatt hour. So netting me $40 for the month, so another good month for my iPolo G1 minis. Coming at number 8 are my Stepin NFT shoes. Nothing really going on here. I get paid to walk. I earned $38 for the month, which is just over $1 per day. And then I actively sell these tokens, these GST tokens that I earn, and I convert that into Solana every couple weeks. And coming in at number 9 is my Deeper Connect Mini. Once again, nothing really going on with this project. My credit score is now at 1,061, which earns me max rewards, which earned me $21 for the month. Similar to a lot of other projects, we did see quite the decrease in Deeper tokens price month over month, and this has been a consistent trend. I think this token has just been gone straight down ever since I got into this project about 1.5 years ago. Coming in number 10 is my Helium 5G Bobcat 500 miner. It mines the mobile token. We mined 115,000 mobile tokens this month. It is nice to see that the mobile tokens price has started to flatten out after pretty miserable start the last few months, but it's really only netting me about $16.50 for the month. So really poor performance out of Helium's 5G mining at this point. Number 11 and number 13 here are new projects for the month. These are my Fry miners, my Fry bandwidth and Fry satellite miners. I did do a video on Fry at the beginning of June. I'll link that above and in the description below. Now, a couple things to note with Fry. Ever since that video, we did see a pretty drastic decrease in the Fry tokens price for the month. We're down 72% at this point. And they did make an announcement on their Discord that there were some attackers that got in and registered some fictitious devices, and it created some sell pressure on the Fry token, which caused the drastic decrease in the Fry token price this month. So the team has tried to compensate people by doubling rewards these last couple weeks for people to try to offset that decrease in the Fry token price. So as an experiment for these devices, for my Fry satellite miner, I'm actively selling my tokens every couple days, but then my Fry bandwidth miner, I am accumulating all the tokens that I'm earning with this device. So we'll check back in a couple months. I'll probably do an update video here in a couple months on Fry and see where my cumulative earnings are for each of these devices and whether it has been better for me to sell my tokens or to accumulate my tokens. Coming at number 12 is my EXA miner. Now this has not been accurately updated here. I have had issues with my internet network and not being able to access my EXA miner dashboard. So this is an estimate here based on some prior month numbers. Coming at number 14 is my streamer node. I have this hosted on FLUX. I could do a video on this if there's enough interest. I've been running this for about 2 months with no issues, and it generates some decent profits compared to the amount that you put in for it. Number 15 is element data. I did a video on this several months ago. This project is really, I think, on its way to being dead at this point. When I made my original video, it was making 34 bucks a day, and now I think I looked this morning, we're earning about 19 cents per day for element data. So only earning $6.64 for the month. I am actually selling these tokens and converting them into algo every couple days for this project. Coming to number 16 are my helium hotspots. I have 5 of them. These now mine the IoT token instead of the HNT token that they earned in the past, but we've seen some really miserable performance over the last several months for these devices mining this IoT token, and now it's only earning about $6 for the month between all 5 of these devices. Now the good thing is we're seeing the IoT token, it was up 20% versus last month, but that was after a really miserable first 2 months with the release of that IoT token. Then coming in at number 17 is my Gold Shell SC box. I'm mining SC Prime instead of Sidecoin for this device. It netted me $2.66 for the month. Number 18, map metrics. Once again, I didn't drive very much this month. We saw an 18% decline in the MMAPS token, and I only earned $2 for the month. Coming at number 19 is my Gold Shell Starcoin box. Netting me only $1 now for this month. The one good thing about the Starcoin box is it uses much less power than some of the other Gold Shell mini box miners, so it's helped to keep it still profitable at this point, but we are getting close to unprofitable at this point. Then number 20, we're going to move to my miner graveyard and call this Project Dead, and that's the Block Unlimited Nightlight. I have that in the background, can't really see it here, but this device really at this point is earning almost nothing. I looked at my cumulative rewards over the past almost year and a half, and at this point all the tokens that I've earned have only accumulated about $9 at this point, so we're only earning a few cents each month. So I'm going to move this to the miner graveyard. I'll still monitor this, but at this point I'm not going to track this on this monthly earnings analysis going forward. Next 2 projects are in testnet. We have WeatherXM. They're still planning a token release in Q4 of 2023. They also did an update this month, so we're going to receive less testnet tokens going forward. This is in accordance with their distribution schedule on their white paper, but these are still just testnet tokens, so there's no value to them at this point. And then number 22, PiFi, that is also still in testnet. They were expecting to release their token at the end of Q2, but they've made an announcement that they're going to delay this for the foreseeable future. And I think that's really a smart decision at this point. It's really not the best market environment right now to release new tokens, so they've made an announcement that they're going to delay this until they are more prepared, and I think there's a better market environment for a new token release. And finally, these last several here, we've got our Gold Shell mini box miners. There's several of them that I'm running here that I'm running at slightly unprofitable, and it's really just to accumulate tokens, and I'm not really interested in trying to go to an exchange and manually try to purchase tokens, so I still mine these at a slight loss. And then the FutureBit Apollo Bitcoin miner that runs a full Bitcoin node, so I'm going to keep running that at unprofitable. I think rounding out the list at number 27 and 28 are my Gold Shell CK box and CK box 2. I'm going to unplug both of these because they are both very unprofitable at this point. If you look at the miner graveyard, you can see it's littered with a lot of different Gold Shell mini box miners. At this point, there's very few mini box miners that are still profitable, and even those are dwindling on unprofitable at this point. So my plan with a lot of these different devices that have become unprofitable is really just sit on them and wait for the next bull market, where hopefully they either become profitable to mine with again, or there becomes a better market for people interested in purchasing them, and I can unload them at decent prices. Next, let's look at the ROI analysis that I put together. We'll start off with the assumptions I'm making with this analysis. First, the miner fair market value estimate is based on recent comparable miner sales from eBay. These are actual sales and not asking prices, and these are not my purchase costs. In almost all cases, I paid much more for all these devices than the current fair market value. Next, the current month net income loss is my actual net income less my expenses. Yours would obviously be different if you have different electric rates or BPS hosting rates. Next, this is as of a point in time, July 1st, 2023. Miner value and income amounts will vary obviously over time. And then finally, this is not financial advice, and don't use this as justification to purchase a miner or node. So here I have all the different projects ranked from the highest ROI down to the lowest ROI. We'll briefly go over each and I'll get some high-level commentary. I also have a color coding system in terms of how I feel about each project. Green, I think, is a strong project. Yellow, I'm on the fence. And then red, I would stay away. The number one project, similar to the last several months, are the DIMO data miners, coming in at an annual ROI of just under 270%. So a break-even days of 133 days. Now, I still think this is quite unsustainable, but it's super lucrative at this point. Another thing you want to keep in mind here is this monthly net income for these devices. My devices are now a level 3, so I have a slightly higher reward versus if you were to get this device today, your monthly net income would be a little bit lower here than what I'm showing here. So the break-even days would be a little higher if you were to purchase this device currently. I do have a discount code for DIMO. I can get you 10% off your order, so I'll put that in the description below if you're interested in purchasing a DIMO data miner. Number 2 project is Crank. Costs about $250 to get into this project. Now you do need eligible devices to onboard, which is not included in this cost, and this project is currently closed to new participants, but my understanding is they're going to open it up here in the next couple months. So if you're interested, I would join their Discord so you can hop in as this project opens up to new participants. Especially if you have a helium device that's sitting around not earning anything, there's a good chance you may be able to convert that to Crank once this project goes live. Number 3 is the Hyfix Geodnet station, $695 for the upgraded triple band space weather station. Now, the one thing, this does not take into account the impact the halving just had yesterday. So you want to keep that in mind. The profitability of this may decrease here over the next month or so if we don't see an increase in the Geode token price. Coming at number 4 is my Step in NFT shoes. This project I'm really kind of iffy on. If you do a lot of walking, this may make sense for you. Otherwise, I don't know that there's a lot of sustainability for this long term for this project, so it's not something I would recommend a lot of people jump into. The number 5 and number 7 here are my Fry miners, the Fry bandwidth and Fry satellite miners. Now, despite the big decrease that we saw in the Fry token price over the past month, these are still quite lucrative, and we're looking at just over a year for break even and almost a year and a half for the satellite miners. Now, the good thing about this is the cost to get in these is relatively low when you compare it to a lot of other projects at $184. Now, this does take into account my discount code. I can get you 20% off your order, so that'll bring it down to this $184. I'll put a link to that in the description below if you're interested in the Fry bandwidth or Fry satellite miner. Now, they are taking batch 3 orders, and they're expected to deliver those by the end of Q3. Number 6, Element Data. I would stay away from Element Data. There's no use case for this, and I think the earnings are going to continue to decline for Element Data. Number 8, my iPolo G1 Minis. This has really been the best ASIC that I've owned, and it's one of the first ASICs that I actually ever bought, and it's still been a winner for me throughout this entire bear market. So it's a low price point, and it's still profitable at this point. So it's you can't really say that a lot about mini ASICs at this point. Number 9 are my Presearch nodes. I've been a big supporter of Presearch for the past year and a half, so I'll continue to run my Presearch nodes, and I think it's an easy way to get exposure to running a cryptocurrency node. So if you're interested in Presearch, I'll put a link up to my Presearch node tutorial if you're interested in joining that project. Number 10, Deeper Connect Mini. I would stay away from Deeper Connect. This one's been a big loser for me, and I would not recommend people jump into this. You have to stake a very large amount of tokens just to get some rewards, and the token has just been straight down ever since I got involved with this project. Number 11, my S19 Pro 110 terahash Bitcoin miners. I'm a big supporter of Bitcoin mining. I think Bitcoin's here to stay, and I think this is going to be an extremely profitable venture for anyone involved in Bitcoin mining going forward. The one bad thing about getting involved in Bitcoin mining, I bought my Bitcoin miners about a year ago, and I paid about double what the current market price is for these devices. So you can really pick up Bitcoin miners for relatively cheap at this point. So if you have a location, a cheap electric rate, it may be a good long-term investment for you. Number 12, streamer nodes. This is also a really easy node to get set up with. It's only $260 currently to run a streamer node. And if you have any FLUX, you can actually have it hosted through FLUX, and it makes it super easy to set up and maintain. Number 13, map metrics. I did a video on map metrics a couple months ago. The good thing about map metrics, if you drive a lot, you could actually potentially earn a few extra bucks each month. And the price point for these is quite low, coming in at about $100 on eBay. Number 14, Helium Bobcat IoT. I would not get involved with mining helium at this point, or these IoT tokens. It is not lucrative anymore. I know a lot of people spent a lot on these different devices and came nowhere close to paying off their devices. So unless you purely want to do it for speculative purposes, I don't think it's a good long-term investment at this point. And similar to the Helium Bobcat 5G mining, that is quite expensive to get into at $2,000, and you're really not generating much of any earnings at this point. And look at that, break-even days at this point, we're looking at 10 years to break even at current prices. Like I mentioned earlier, Block Unlimited, stay away from Block Unlimited. That is a gimmick. You're basically throwing away $200 or $100 for the Block Unlimited. Examiner, seems like they're going to be on testnet forever. That's why I've got this on yellow. There really has been little to no progress, I feel like, with this project over the past year plus, but I will continue to run my device, and hopefully someday they will start selling storage space and we'll get some utilization on this device. Number 19, FLUX nodes. I've got these marked as yellow now instead of green, which I had in the past. The profitability of these nodes has really gone down substantially over the last couple of months. We've seen some significant weakness in the FLUX token price. So it's really not very lucrative at this point to run these FLUX nodes anymore. And like I mentioned earlier, if it continues to become less and less profitable, if it switches to unprofitable at some point, I'll probably end up shutting off my FLUX nodes and just holding FLUX tokens, or trying to stake them through a Titan node for free. And then finally, we have my Gold Shell Star Coin box. I have this marked as yellow. $400 seems like a pretty high price point at this point for a device that's barely profitable. But if you can pick one up for even cheaper, it may be a good speculative device. Then we have WeatherXM and PiFi. Since they're both on testnet, I still got these marked as yellow at this point because it's really to be determined whether those are going to be very lucrative. And then finally, we have all the Gold Shell mini box miners, which are all negative in terms of profitability at this point. So I would stay away from those unless you purely want to speculate on a bunch of altcoins and mine them unprofitably. Now, I want to continue to provide as much value to you as possible in these videos. So if you have any projects or topics you want me to cover in further detail, don't hesitate to reach out to me in the comment section below. I make it a point to always respond to everyone's comments, whether positive or negative. I know it's been a slow past few weeks on this channel. I've had some personal issues come up, one being my 19-month-old little boy broke his foot last week. Add on to that, I have a 3-month-old boy that refuses to sleep a lot of time, so it makes for a pretty hectic household at this point. But I'm not planning on going anywhere. I have several projects in the pipeline that I'm currently testing, and I'm excited to bring you videos on in the coming weeks. So subscribe if you're not already subscribed. While you're down there, hit that like button for me. Check out one of my other videos over here. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.